Dragon Age Inquisition was rated M for mature by the ESRB and contains blood, intense violence, nudity, sexual content, and strong language. Viewer discretion is advised. Hello everyone, my name is Amaronith and I play games for the internet, and today we're playing Dragon Age Inquisition. It's time for another Codex entry reading, and we are beginning with creatures. With Darkspawn, updated. Those who had sought to claim heaven by violence destroyed it. What was golden and pure turned black. Those who had once been mage lords, the brightest of their age, were no longer men but monsters. Threnodies 12:1. Sin was the midwife that ushered the Darkspawn into this world. The Magisters fell from the Golden City, and their fate encompassed all our worlds, for they were not alone. No one knows where the Darkspawn came from, a dark mockery of men. In the darkest places they thrive, growing in numbers as a plague of locusts will. In raids they will often take captives, dragging their victims alive into the deep roads, but most evidence suggests that these are eaten. Like spiders, it seems Darkspawn prefer their food still breathing. Perhaps they are simply spawned by the darkness. Certainly, we know that evil has no trouble perpetuating itself. The last blight was in the Age of Towers, striking once again at the heart of Tevinter, spreading south into Orlais and east into the Free Marches. The plague spread as far as Ferelden, but the withering and twisting of the land stopped well beyond our borders. Here, Darkspawn have never been more than the stuff of legends. In the northern lands, however, particularly Tevinter and the Anderfels, they say Darkspawn haunt the hinterlands, preying on outlying farmers and isolated villages. A constant threat. From Ferelden, Folklore and History, by Sister Patrine, Chantry Scholar. Researched, damage against Darkspawn increased. Darkspawn Emissary. What I remember most is its tongue flapping against a row of spiky teeth. I'd heard emissaries possessed the ability to speak, but the words were unnatural. They twisted and lurched as they left the creature's mouth, accompanied with a spray of saliva. "Have you ever experienced living flesh ground between your teeth?" it asked Mila before biting through her throat. My ankle was broken from the battle, but I dragged myself away. The pain I felt would be nothing compared to what the emissary would do to me. Rikus stayed behind. I never knew if he was covering my escape, trying to save Mila, or simply had given up. I sensed a surge of dark magic, then heard his cry and a thud. I didn't look back, just crawled as fast as I could. When I reached the surface, the back of my boots were splattered with blood. An excerpt from the Blighted Codex, a classified collection of studies that on the Darkspawn, held safely in the Imperial Library in Minrathous, available only to members of the Magisterium. Shriek. An entire unit went into the ground, and only Tarquin returned. Sira found him bloody and shaking. We asked what happened, but got only incoherent mumbling for answers. Sira isn't taking it well. She's close with Tarquin's family and fears how Magister Nastasia will react when we deliver what's left of her son. I still have hopes his mind will recover. Tarquin needs rest and wine, that's all. It's been nearly a fortnight, but Tarquin is showing progress. He no longer rocks, knees tight against his chest on the bed. Yesterday he even let Sira hold his hand. The mumbling has turned to silence, but I think the words will come soon. We sent another unit down to investigate. Unsurprisingly, evidence of a bloodbath greeted them. Sira believes Tarquin's unit was ambushed. Half-eaten bodies and angry wounds from crude weapons point toward Darkspawn. Tarquin spoke today. Only one word, but it was enough. Shriek, shriek, shriek. Sira held him as the shaking returned. An excerpt from the Blighted Codex, a classified collection of studies on the Darkspawn held safely in the Imperial Library in Minrathous, available only to members of the Magisterium. Loren. Ah. Groups. The Order of the Fiery Promise. Consider the time in which the original Inquisition existed. The first blight had devastated the world, tearing down the mighty Tevinter Imperium and leaving nothing in its place. Just as there were several cults of Andraste vying to become the true inheritor of the Prophet's faith, there was more than one group claiming to represent the one true path to deliver the world from chaos. The Order of Fiery Promise was one of these. A band of men and women who decreed that not only was the end of the world nigh, it was necessary. Thedas must be cleansed with fire and reborn as a paradise. This they solemnly promised. They devoted themselves utterly to seeing this come about. Whether they ever drew close to their goal is unknown. The Inquisition eventually crushed these promisers during a battle recorded only as the Cleansing of Cherno. The cult reappeared in the early Divine Age, claiming to take up the Inquisition's mantle after it had transformed into the Seekers of Truth, leading to chantry hunts that did not see the promisers eliminated again until the Exalted Age. From In Pursuit of Knowledge, The Travels of a Chantry Scholar by Brother Genetivi. Magic. The Rite of Tranquility. We called it the Rite of Tranquility, a mind, branded with lyrium, brought to a state devoid of either emotion or sense of self. The rite was required to achieve true peace that could draw a spirit of faith from the depths of the Fade. A difficult task, considering a tranquil mind is all but invisible to these beings. The candidate must be pure. If the candidate proved worthy, the spirit would touch his mind, and he would be freed from tranquility, as well as made into a seeker in truth. If he proved unworthy, tranquility was permanent. It was only later, when the first mage attempted to join our order and failed, that we learned tranquility rendered a mage unable to access his magic, as well as immune to demonic possession. Thus, when the Circle of Magi was born, we gave them the most holy rite we possessed. It was a sacrifice we made for the good of all, so dangerous mages could be spared execution, and yet live productive and harmonious lives. What we did not give them was the secret of its reversal. That knowledge, our ancient bond with the spirits of faith, shall forever be solely ours to keep. An excerpt from Cassandra's tome on the Seekers of Truth. Places. Caer Oswin. I worry about Loren daily. Ever since the death of his wife and son in Highever at the onset of the Blight, he retreats further and further into reclusion. Almost no one is permitted to come to Caer Oswin. The last time I managed to see him, it was only because I bullied my way into the castle and insisted his strange new guards take me to him. And I say strange new guards for a reason. Almost all the Oswin retainers have been sent away. These men didn't wear Ban Loren's colors, and they struck me more as prison wardens than as protectors. Loren himself was pale and almost delirious. I begged him to see a physic, and he promised he would, but I doubt he ever did. The guards ushered me out in a hurry, and the last time I returned, I was not even allowed past the gate. It's been months since anyone saw Loren at all. I fear the worst has happened, yet I can prove nothing. All I can do is pray the rest of the Banorn take notice and act before a good man is lost. From a letter by Ban Alphastana of Aramon, Dragon 940. Oof. Ban Loren. Before I read this, was Ban Loren's wife and son over with the Kuslins? Oh, I'll have to double check. Sorry. Heidrun Thaig. A letter to Merchant Levnog, predating the first blight. Levnog. More of the brand refused to make the journey to Heidrun Thaig. Rumors of the incident has spread, and no amount of coin or beatings could persuade them. I asked Minor Vasov to send the Asana shipment with his own crew, but have yet to receive a reply. I inquired if anyone else has heard from their Heidrun contacts. Nothing. I worry that it has something to do with those creatures that wear the faces of the dead. Apparently the king himself is leading a troop of warriors to check on the situation. Needless to say, the shipment will be late. I just hope it arrives at all. Jordan. Tales. If I'm missing anything in here, I will make a note and put it with my other another Codex entry when I update my notes. Dwarven Mugs. Pride of Nalthar, the words "let them eat steak" are etched into the side of this well-worn tankard. Brannon's custom mix. The mug bears the inscription 5 minutes here is 15 minutes there. Enchanted Stein. A rune is attached. On the side opposite it reads Bodan and Sons Quality Wares and Enchantments. Heidrun Hightown, Chapter 7. By Varric Tethris. Donan Brenikovic searched Comte de Frever's office. The Comte lay dead, murdered while armed and barricaded inside his own home. The servants' rooms were all empty, and from the pulled-out drawers and abandoned trunks they had been sent away in a hurry. The Comte had clearly expected trouble, and trouble had come to call. The Comte kept all of his letters. Decades of correspondence, sorted by, apparently, Kingdom of Origin, filled his writing desk. Donan rummaged through them, looking for darker ink, fresher pages, anything that might indicate it was recent. Then came the shattering sound of someone kicking in the front door. "Hey, my lord Fancy Pants, get your ass down here!" Jevlin and Donan ran for the foyer. A woman stood over the splintered door, her eyes glittering brighter than the daggers in her hands. "You there!" she snapped at the guardsman. "Where's the compter full of it? We need to have some words. One of them will be coin, and another will be now." "Kirkwall Guard," Donan barked back at her. "This is a crime scene. Identify yourself." "Guards, are you?" She smirked, squinting up in the dark toward him. "No suits of armor outside. Men poking around a noble's house in the dark. This does look like a crime scene." Donan didn't flinch. "Your name?" "Belladonna. Captain Belladonna, of the Dragon's Jewels." She executed a florid bow that somehow managed to be insulting. "Where's the damned Comte?" "He's dead," Donan said, watching her reaction. "You wouldn't know anything about that, would you?" She cracked a wry smile. "Trust me, sweet thing, if I were going to kill him, I would have waited until he paid me first." "What was your business with the Comte?" Jevlin spoke up, startling Donan. He'd almost forgotten his partner was there. "Cargo transport." She glowered at the recruit. "He hired me to deliver some antiques, and I've been sitting at anchor for a fortnight without being paid." She peered up into the dark balconies overhanging the foyer and shouted, "Anybody here? You want this rubbish? Come to the docks tonight and pay me 50 sovereigns for it. Otherwise I'm dumping it in the sea." And with that she turned on her heel and strode away. Why are they not in order? This is so upsetting. The Lost Temple of Dirthamen. We few whisper here where shadow dwells. Some words remain unuttered. Truths are pushed down, down, where they shall never arise again. Dirthamen is gone, he said. Our highest one brings to us this gravest news. What shall we do? Where shall we go? What of the old secrets that burn within our hearts? They will come for us in the night, those who would steal the words from our lips, and our God no longer rises to our defense. We claw at the walls, at the walls. Now we pray for a dawn that will never arrive. Our highest one, he deceives us, the honeyed words that drip from his tongue, we know the despair they mask. We disciples of Dirthamen know truth, now as ever. The highest one promises safety. I shall protect our ancient secrets, he claims. All that Dirthamen once granted us will be safe. But it is our blood he seeks, a sacrifice dark and unholy, a prison of evil to keep us in and all else out. We will not have it, will not have it. The secrets are madness in our ears, but they are ours. The highest one cannot take them from us. Only Dirthamen, our keeper, only he. And if he does not take the secrets, they are ours forever. His mind which cannot think, his tongue which cannot speak, his hand which cannot touch, his ears which cannot hear, his eyes which cannot see. And thus shall our highest one be bound. He shall join us in our silence. For his heart, our highest one is bound. The secret that he keeps with us. The vigil that he keeps with us. His fear will not weaken us. No one shall come, dear mentor. In our eternity, only darkness reigns. The Nug King. All praise the Nug King. Sate his appetite with cheese. Older is better. From Songs That Only Nugs Can Hear, by Paragon Ebrian, 584 Exalted. And that is that. Oh, big stretch, everyone. Whew. On that note, we end here. And I will see you next time for another episode of Dragon Age Inquisition. Until then, take care of yourselves, be safe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye!